Hi guys, it's me Julia. Welcome back to my channel and hi to everybody who's new. I've got lots of new subscribers which I'm absolutely thrilled about. I'm here again for Kiln Opening number 10. Can you believe it's already in double figures? Without further ado, let's just get into it. It's cold because it's been sitting there for a couple of days waiting for me to film, so I haven't been feeling up to it, so it's ready. I did have a teeny peep a couple of days ago, but that was all. So here we go. I'm quite excited. Right, okay, I'll just open the lid rather than take you across. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, like, can't stop looking. I can see some good pieces and I can see one absolutely horrible piece. So let's start with the good piece, yeah? Okay, so first piece out of the kiln is this beautiful little trinket dish, and I don't know if you can see the pattern on the edge. Really pretty, like absolutely love it. Very rarely do they come out perfect, and this one is about as perfect as can be. Nice neat bottom, and the colour is amaco iron. It's just a celadon, but it's a very underrated colour. I'm not a huge brown fan on pottery, but I just think it is beautiful. I did put a teeny bit of copper wash around the edge, but it's so subtle you can hardly see it at all, and it's just, I think it's gonna show up on camera, but look how the iron breaks over the textures. It's just so pretty. Love it. I think that might be a keeper for me. Right, next piece is one that is just a teeny little thing that Jacob glazed. He wanted to have a kind of a little play, so it's just a little trinket dish, and it's got obsidian by Amaco on the back, and it's actually, you can't really tell, but it's palladium by Amaco and saturation gold by Amaco. You can't really see, but you can see on the palladium where it's pinholed, so I don't know if it's actually too thick, but it's a cute little dish and he'll be happy with it. Just to go in his room to put little bits on. Right, next piece is horrible. It was a warped bowl, so I wanted to do a glaze experiment on it, so it was never going to be like functional really, but I wanted to see. I've had the mayco washes and I haven't used them very much, and I'd used the manganese wash on the first Highland cow that I made, and that turned out really well. So I thought, well, why don't I have a go at using a different one? So I used the rutile yellow wash with copper wash around the outside. This was a little plate I did with a roller that I made for this pattern. I actually made it with cut out foam stick-on flowers on a roller. So the pattern is lovely, but the colour is awful. It's just kind of vomity. So really happy with the pattern. It's still warped, so you know, it's not really going to do anything because it kind of slumped a little bit, but happy with the pattern, and yeah, just leave it at that. Right, I'll take this half shelf out. After the disasters last time as well with my shelves, I did manage to get them reasonably clean. I got the pots off, and there are a few little chips and a couple of little bits of glaze here and there, but they're all still functioning, which, you know, is great. So next piece, let's have a look. Okay, this was a bit of an experimental shape that I was doing. It was a circle that I cut the kind of on a, it sits like that, so it's on a bias, and it's a bit of a vase. It's not quite straight, it's moved a little bit in the kiln. This is a decal that I made myself from a silk screen. So I got my Wonder glazes, so like the stroke and coats type glazes, and I put a little bit of CMC gum into it to make it thicker, so it would pass through the silk screen easier. And I did it onto, you can do it onto kind of a tissue type paper. I've done it onto copier paper and it worked. Just really basic copy paper though, not thick, just really thin, cheap copier paper. It worked really well for me. So I silk screened this onto copier paper and then used it just like one of the normal decals that you would get from Sanbao or Elan or one of the other places. Just put it onto my piece. I sprayed it a little bit first on the pattern side, sprayed it a little bit, put it onto my greenware, and then damp sponged it to get it to stick on, and rubbed it a little bit, you know, like just to encourage it to stick onto the greenware. But it worked really well, and the colour that I've put on it is one that I've not really used. So what I'm trying to do is kind of use up some of my glazes, because there are pots that I've not really liked and I'm trying to like them, if that makes sense, because they just sit there forever otherwise. So this is Amaco Fog. This was a green decal that I made under here with a green underglaze. So this is Amaco Fog. I put loads of coats on because it does come out really thin, but it still looks pretty thin, but on this side it's fine. Then I put some seaweed and some Emerald Falls and some Blue Lagoon around the top, but it's only kind of gathered and dripped in the, I guess it's ran down that way, hasn't it? And on that. So I didn't quite think about where it would end up. And the same here. But it's, you know, it is what it is. It's quite cute, and I think with it like some really short stemmed flowers, it would be nice. I'm kind of hard on myself. I'm so critical. Right. Next piece. This one was an experiment that I just wanted to try when I made the roller with the flowers on. So I did the pattern, but then when I pressed it out, I obviously wasn't thinking straight, because I put the pattern on the outside and not on the inside. Now this colour is a new colour as well. This is Clayscapes Cream. It comes in a powder form in the jar. So it has, you know, about half a jar of powder, and you've got to put it said 425 millilitres of water, which I did, measured it exactly, but it's quite runny and it was quite bubbly. So I let it settle for a couple of days, and it was still pretty runny. So I have left it open to try to evaporate it a little bit, but I wasn't sure how it was going to be. And actually this is quite interesting. I don't know if the little texture in there is the bubbles, because it seemed to be so fizzy. I never shook it, I only stirred it to incorporate the powder into the water. And then when I was, I know what I did. erase all of that. Right, that is Glaze cream, but when I've just looked at it, I remembered I bought some iron spangles. I was looking in the raw section for the raw materials at the Potter's online shop, and I saw iron spangles and I thought, ooh, what can I do with those? So I did this all in Glaze cream, and I was going to do another colour over it, like Cordovan or something like that. But instead I decided to have a try with the iron spangles, which is just really, really finely milled iron bits. It's shiny, almost looks like glitter. So I sprinkled some in on another layer of now I'm wondering if it's actually birch. I think it's birch, it's not Glaze cream. Glaze cream will come later. This is actually birch now that I'm looking at it. I'm not writing things down at the minute and I'm forgetting everything. But anyway, this is birch actually over the texture, and it's lovely. I love how it's broken brown over the texture. So that is actually mayco birch with the iron spangles. Yeah. Brain not working today. So now this one, I'm sure she's going to be the piece of the kiln. She's a moon gazing hare. So she's I formed her with a pinch pot, then kept adding to it. So the body itself started as a pinch pot, and then a former, little former for the head, just to keep it stable. And her ears were coils, and then I kind of pressed them into the ear shapes. But that's her little face. Jacob said from that angle it looks like a goat, which I guess it does a bit. But I added all the muscle groups, you know, like her cheeks and shoulders, and like she has got quite a big bottom, but you know, some of us do. But yeah, that's kind of, I've been waiting for it to get fired, so I'm really, really, really love her. She's beautiful, and she's coloured, glazed with amaco oatmeal, which on its own is this beautiful kind of mottly cream. It really does look like oatmeal. With other glazes, the oatmeal does blend and can run, but on its own it's very underrated. And then she's got obsidian eyes. So yeah, I really, really love her. Jacob's already claimed it, so you know, he has a lot of what I make goes into his room, and he won't let me throw anything away. Next piece, okay, this one is for Jacob. This is I've made it as a pen pot for him for his desk, and it was a texture roller that I found in Hobbycraft, which is a hobby store in the UK, and it was a little pack of wooden textured rollers. They were about £7 or something like that, and there was 3 in there, and this was one of them. So it left the kind of squares or rectangles as the pattern, and I then went in and coloured in each individual square rectangle, and it's a red, white and blue. Don't know if that shows up kind of much, but I didn't put any clear glaze over the outside. That was an oversight actually. I did put it to one side to put clear glaze on, but I actually like it with the raw glaze, raw clay in between the little rectangles, and inside is can see just about that there's the squares on the bottom as well, and that's 3 thick layers of cobalt by Amaco. And actually it has a little stamp on the bottom because I do have a new stamp saying Ceramics by Julia, but I've used it on about 2 pieces because I keep forgetting, or I haven't got room. I'm not very good at putting my name on things. So that one is lovely, and that's the first time I've done kind of a raw edge, like an overlapping edge where I've not blended it in, and I really like it. Next piece is another cutaway little vase on the bias. It's like that, and this is my, you could call it my little signature designs with the underglaze or the wonder glaze colours, so they're like stroke and cut colours, and it's inspired by Clarice Cliff. That's what I'll say, because I love her pieces, and so I've made my own kind of inspirational versions, if you want to say that. But that's, really love it. Again with the cobalt on the inside. Really, really nice piece. I prefer that side. I did that because I thought it would be like a moon in the sun, but yeah, love it. And this is a little bit retro, like mod like, isn't it, from the 60s. Yeah, fabulous. Happy with that one. Okay, this was another little pot that I tried out, another textured roller with, this was actually not a roller, like it was a texture mat with little dots on. I filled in with red, white and blue dots, and then put some of the fog, the one that I used on this piece, just one kind of generous coat, just to see what that was like. I'm not digging the fog at all. I'm gonna have to find a different use for it. It's just a bit, yeah, it's just a bit blur. But it's a cute trinket dish though, in like that red, white and blue kind of pattern. I like it though. Right, last thing, last piece on the top shelf is a little cat. At my clay group that I go to, a couple of the ladies have been making huge big cats in this kind of style, and so I made a little boy and a little girl, just to kind of have a go and join in. And then I glazed the little boy with the blues and greens. Then I mixed a few different colours, and I left the tail, the face just raw, you know, just with clear glaze on. And I did the little girl with a decal that I'd made in red. And then I thought, well, I wonder if it would be quite good to use a manganese wash to give her like a bit of a kind of a tabby kind of look. But she ended up looking like she'd been in a house fire, really. You know, she had serious issues and I couldn't fire her, and then the tail fell off. So he's on his own little cat. A couple of test tiles on there, but it was really testing the cream glaze that I got. Let's have a look. And I just dipped them, so it's the same on both sides. That is copper float with the Clayscapes cream on top. Quite nice actually. That one is Cordovan with the Clayscapes cream on top. It has that like almost like a leopardy kind of pattern. That has done nothing. That's Winterwood with the Clayscapes cream on top, and that was thick. It hasn't touched it. It's done nothing other than maybe given the winter wood a slight sheen, whereas it's quite matte. That is the Clayscapes cream on its own, so you know it looks okay. It's almost a white rather than a cream, but on its own it's actually quite nice. I think I'll be using that. And that is pink opal with the cream on top, so it would seem that the cream doesn't really do very much. So I shall get my next shelf out. Ooh. Ooh. There's me squealing. Right, okay. I'll do this little piece first. So this one is, I haven't got it here, but this is the kind of edge piece of a really small one that I did. And I didn't want to just kind of throw that bit away, so I thought I'll make some kind of little ring dish out of it. And so I used the top bit I cut off. I put some white slip on it and I put some little transfers on. Then I put on the transfers some marigold, amaco marigold, but you just so that you could do with yellow bees, but it's actually, you can't see the yellow. Well, that's okay, it's still cute. And actually the white slip with the clear glaze over comes out really nice. You can see the yellow a bit in the bigger ones, but you can't in the little ones. But just a cute little ring dish for putting by the sink to pop your rings in for when you're either cooking or washing up. So, ooh, fantastic. Right, this is a little sandwich tray that I did it with that textured roller. This same, I think it was the same one that I did on here. And then made a little sandwich tray, coloured in each of the 800 little squares individually, and then decided to put, because I didn't know whether I should leave it, I should have left it bare clay like this one, but because I was having a bit of a mayco wash thing, I thought I'll try and put a little bit of mayco wash on just to give it a blue hint on the bare clay. It hasn't worked as well as I'd hoped, but it's still a really nice little piece. It had warped slightly in the bisque, which has flattened out, which is fantastic, but the edge has slightly warped. But overall, and then clear glaze on top. And I've been smoothing my bottoms, I've been burnishing them, which has made them lovely, and they're not going to scratch tables. But yeah, like it's kind of left it a little bit speckly, so I'm not overly fond of the speckliness, but I'm not making another one because it took too long. You gotta have a lot of patience, and sometimes I do, because it's kind of like colouring in, you know, like colouring in books. I love doing colouring in books, and so it's kind of like the pottery version. But yeah, there's only so much of the colouring in squares on pottery that I can take. Okay, this piece has been sat on the shelf for a while because I couldn't fit it in. This is a gorgeous little plate, little cookie plate. It's got sky on the back, amaco sky, and the wonder glazes, again in that kind of inspired by Clarice Cliff kind of design. They're all different. I do, like when I do that, you know, I do them all individually. But yeah, I really like the colours on that one. I haven't gone for any of the deep colours, which, yeah, I really like that. I think that might be a keeper as well. Another little trinket dish. This was the Clayscapes cream, definitely. So actually, it's more like a celadon because there is some breaking over the white. It's not like a gloss white, like mayco gloss white, but actually I'm quite pleased with it. For the fact that it was really thin, I think it's come out quite well. And then around the edge I did some mayco wash in manganese. So just little, I just brushed it down a little bit just to give it a bit of extra something. So next shelf. This is the last shelf. Oh wow. Oh wow. Yay. Okay, 3 pieces left. This is the Clayscapes cream as well, and this has the iron mayco wash with the little kind of what could you call it? Kind of gives it a bit more of a vintage look, doesn't it? Yeah, I like that one. That's a nice little form with the pattern on the edge. Yeah, I like that one. Not much you can say about it, but yay! One of its little feet fell off, and that's always difficult. But I've managed to glue it back on with glaze, so that's great. It's got 3 little feet. And this one I did kind of like a rainbow effect, but I just wanted it in yellows, reds, oranges, like fading to white, and like some copper to represent the sun. So it's kind of like sunbeams. That's what I was thinking when I made it. So like just sunbeams. I thought it might be a little brighter, but it's lovely. I still love it. Again, this one, I should be keeping this because I'm putting it on my the desk that I have all of my crystals on. Yeah, I really like it. It's got a little spillage there of the black when I put the black in between it all, but yeah, overall I like the gradients of colour because there was just 3 colours I used: the red, the orange and the yellow, and then I faded kind of, I suppose I used white as well because I you know, added more and more white as I went along to fade the colours. So yeah, pleased with that one. Very good. And this one is the last piece. And I did this kind of, I wanted to go for a 60s vintage look, and it was in the textured roller that I made myself. So another sandwich plate, which actually has come out wonderful. So I textured the clay and did my sandwich tray shape. And then when I was looking at it, I kind of thought, what do I want to do? Didn't just want to do all the brights because I had this one for all the brights. And then I thought, well, actually the flowers kind of give me a 60s vibe. So I thought, what about doing browns, yellows and oranges? And I'm not a big fan of that kind of style, but I thought, I wonder if I can make it look really vintage. And then I did a little bit of iron wash. So that's iron wash there on the back. And I did do iron wash on the front, but actually you can't really see it very much, and I actually like it exactly as it is. But look how absolutely beautiful it is. I'm gonna do an afternoon tea, and all of the sandwiches, triangle sandwiches, are gonna go on these lovely sandwich plates. and I'm really thrilled with that one. My clay I get my clay from the art centre that I go to. They just get like a school type buff. But sometimes it's been coming back with loads of speckles in it, and they're like little brown. I think it's probably like manganese or something like that. When they're mixing the clay up, it's not mixed thoroughly. So there are a few kind of little speckles down here, but it still looks perfect to me. I might have to do some other things in this retro vibe. I really like it. Yeah, I had a new orange colour, and then an older orange colour. So, and then I blended them up. I'm really pleased with that. Lovely. So that's all the pieces for this kiln. And I am now closing the giveaway from the last kiln opening, and I shall film another short video where I actually do a winner reveal. So I shall leave that there. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I'm so thrilled that so many people watch, and so many people give me great inspiration with their comments and great hints and tips, and people saying that I'm actually inspiring them to make pottery is, you know, it's absolutely incredible. So thank you so much. Please do like and comment. It really, really helps my channel. And if you haven't subscribed already, please do if you like this kind of content. I am going to be making a starter series for really basic pottery for beginners. So that's coming up soon. So until next time, which shouldn't be too long, I've got loads of pieces sitting waiting to go into my bisque kiln. So should be another kiln opening coming up really soon. So thanks again, guys. See you next time. Can't get my words out. See you later. Bye.